You can skip all the moments in music, but Shatta Wale's story got to be told regardless. How many of you knew Appietus used Shatta's voice as his signature? I guess some are now knowing and others knew. These are the kind of things, or let's say these are the kind of stuff that needs to be amplified enough. But thank God the internet is now widely accessible. So even though controversies are now the new currency, people will get to know more about this through the internet being at their doorstep. And this is actually a legendary interview, and I know people will now know the bandana story that transitioned to Shatta Wale. It's been a whole journey, and I think so Shatta has really paid his dues to be here, so he deserves that respect and accolade on his name. I guess after this interview, you have a whole different narrative as compared to those agenda gatekeepers. So let's listen to what Appietus said that got people talking.
Oh, Matthew. I done the best.
Okay.
I did Zibote, Sydney. Zibote. I did Sentinel.
baby. That was a monster hit.
I think I did the Sentinel case frequency.
Okay.
Okay. It was the I did the Zibote to give case frequency. There's a zero song I did. Tommy Kala TV Akoto. Black and white. Yes, that was what I did.
I come side.
And then I did Yaboge, then Bandana and Georgiara.
Bandana is Shatta.
Bandana and Georgiara.
Okay.
Then now he Shatta Wale.
Yes. But back then, so you knew him as Bandana.
That's when he did that Appietus voice for me. Without knowing.
Is that his voice?
He didn't know for years till I said it. He was recording that song, and then I was talking to somebody, and then apparently he was calling me. You know, when you are recording the voices, you lower the main speaker.
Exactly.
So that it doesn't feed back into the studio. So I lowered the main speaker. And then headphone, I'm listening to him through. No, I'd also put it on my neck. And he had finished, the song had ended, and he wanted me to start again because I told him to rehearse. But anytime I say rehearse, I record you. Because they do some beautiful things.
KK used to do that a lot. So you catch you unawares. So you rehearse, but while you're rehearsing,
I recorded with Kwanzaa. Those days when he's recording his jingle, you know Kwanzaa TV.
Yes, TV Africa.
He will say, yeah, do this. And the person will be doing it. Once he say, did you record it? You're like, I was waiting. So I learned that from Kwanzaa.
Recording when they're unaware.
So when Kwame Zufaka is in the booth doing the art, do it like this, and he's directing him. I'm recording.
Yes.
Because he would come back to you, did you record?
Exactly. Good tip.
So that's how I learned it. So I was recording him. So after the song ended, Shatta was screaming, oh, Appietus. He they call me, I know the man because I can't hear him. I was talking to somebody who wanted to book the studio. So when I finished, I put the thing on. Say, Charlie, I call you. I don't like he opened the door, said, boss, I did call you the man. What to start the song? So when I started, I will mute the one I recorded. I don't want him to hear. Of
course.
When he was done and he's gone, I realized, what is this long file? And I went there, I realized, hey, Appietus like 1,000.
Yeah, just recorded. He was calling you desperately.
Yeah. So I picked one of them and added in the mix, and it became a sensation.
So that voice was Bandana.
Yeah, and he never knew.
Appietus in the mix.
Today he calls me funny. Appietus, I don't know why they do it voice like that.
This funny guy said a whole lot about Shatta and Stonebwoy coming together to do collaborative projects, going on tours together, selling out big arenas, venues like the Madison Square Gardens and the O2 arenas and all of that. But let's say opinions are like noses and everyone has his. So this guy is also entitled to his opinion, but I disagreed with some of his statements, and I think we should dive into that thing. Collaborations are mostly centered on the same energy from both parties. So if the energy is never right, that makes the whole thing look inorganic. And people will realize that the atmosphere was never conducive. People actually came in and forced this whole collaboration thing. So the end result will be awful because both parties never agreed on a certain term. But just for the cameras and the bars, so they had to do it. But the end results will be some way. rivalries in this music scene has been there since ages. We could list a long name from the likes of Tupac and Biggie's down to the Michael Jacksons, Charlie, so on, and even down our local settings, we had the Champions and the Daddy Lumbers splitting along the way and even dropping his songs for each other. And we have the Amachi Dedes and the Kojo entries who never did collaborative projects in their prime, but their legacies are being protected and their works are everywhere. Even in this digital era, you can just go out there and do your finest and you will get the accurate information. Has this Fonyo guy had a second thought that this African giant can still collaborate and have a flop show at the Madison Square or O2 Arena without proper promotion? The likes of Burna Boys and the Asakes are doing the most out there because of proper promotions. Let's put that one aside. About the rival thing in the Nigerian industry is super crazy than what you are even witnessing in this Ghanaian settings. We have Burna Boy and Davido as a case study. You could know how intense their situation is. And these guys are eventually doing well even on their own without even doing a collaborative project. And he trying to box the thing around Benson and Ruger's situation is awful. Because it was staged. This wasn't something personal. This was actually for the bars and to catch clout, and they got it. So their comeback didn't really move people like what people are actually expecting from Burna Boy and Wizkid. And even Davido and Wizkid, who recently had a time in a club together and people thought they were cool, are currently fighting each other. So rivalries will never stop, and this shouldn't hinder the success of an industry. But Shatta Wale can do his thing at the Madison Square or even the O2 Arena with the right promotion and the right settings being made or being labeled down. And these guys are actually doing all this with huge international labels behind them. So Shatta even sold the O2 Indigo twice on a row. Stonebwoy is also doing his thing. So we shouldn't center this whole thing on we collaborating. Charlie, if there is rivalry in the game and it's way healthy, it's something that can boost or bring traction to this industry. So we should just focus on that side. And we should stop trying to make it look like it's the reason why we are falling as an industry. Charlie, there are way bigger things to discuss. So make them all do them a thing. Collaboration or no collaboration. With the right investment and the right promotions, Charlie, we could get there. So let's watch the video that got me and other Ghanaians talking. People are trying to share their emotional sentiments concerning this issue. So let's watch the video and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.
Ghana, with two solid artists, two giant Jamaican artists. These are the dancehall African kings. What are you telling me? No, now we say now we have some nine radio station. I can't drink. Now I say, I say, me can cry FM. Saturday, imagine a concert between Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy. Boom. Imagine an album between Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale. No more album new you can no tour. Imagine say the whole UK, tour, all the cities, US tour. Charlie, just imagine social currency we be generating. But guess what? Unfortunate say it's almost impossible because as a near corner and I am very disappointed in Osha Ghana industry. We have to be fire to Nigeria because a bunch of numbers are more paying. But the talent among paying when you're some talented singing. But one thing on we are industry and your numbers no. One thing on we are industry collaboration. Masa, omo koko na mutu video mutibum. Share Ruga and Benson. Boys your monka omo koda. This your album, joint album. Chucha video so call US store na there. Si come make nya sempetwa. One thing is alata for no. Omo collaboration asensin. Jene ho Shatta Wale any Stonebwoy. Stonebwoy the Biniman eba Ghana ebo show. Fefe. Before Vibes Cartel air crowning Shatta Wale and Biniman di cancel Stonebwoy inside.
Stonebwoy. I know him since he was like, what, 17, 16? He's my son.
Absolutely.
All right, it's about the king of dancehall and the prince of dancehall. Yeah. So he's...
You heard that, Africa, you heard that.
You get my point. And your comparison on me, push on my career. One thing as someone your collaboration, a be home a legacy. The coming generations no and no more bano. I dear Mecca one sempe and it's omokun. There are conflicts. That will be the only thing on Mecca one sem, and it's bad. Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy, who have both been crowned by heroes of dancehall. Beyonce, Eba Ghana, and Shatta Wale Bayanyum, was it a king already? Stonebwoy and Kerry Hilson, Omutuni na ya big brands. Say one say, I remember Obia dream say, young man crofo win your collaboration. And was some your collaboration, and yes, I see a message opportunity where you embark film. Oko kan Rebecca sana ope clout. We dey clout here then. I dey know the clout here. Google me din phone. Me here clout in fanya hwe. Me no naturally me a low key guy. Mama sir, go and search about me. Me that form sir, me ejuma ni mu. Names are me no my ejuma. So unim. If you don't know, go and research. But oba na obe make certain comments be under me post. Comments be one dream, one year research na obe kasakwa and the wa udijiji. We need to do something about this industry. Artists be about Bluebiano, and I made the industry and me. I don't do any industry. I'm not in any industry, and I made a Miami Massa and Chow. We have an industry. Ghana industry niswa. We don't have time for petty rivalries. Biane in Tokwebi there be time in Niho. This is the time as Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale. Omebe do sa peak, Amujo mutibe boom. Na Ghana ye crown you say picture election so peaceful. Now for your artists two giants also mujo mutibom no. No mo so mo kon. Na fans wage na artists so be divided. Wage na near this some emotional petty feelings meaning some sentiments be near ye nyoma for a minute there Shatta Wale Stonebwoy mo talk and it was entertaining. I feel the say afuno I'm challenging industry stakeholders. Me challenging industry gatekeepers. I'm blocking Crawford, to me blocking Crawford. And I'm to be the Crawford so boom. Monfa Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale boom. No more album collaboration. No album collaboration. You almost sound so tour. Imagine UK, US, Europe tour. Shatta Wale Stonebwoy. Let me catch out 2 big brands. Sure, what are you telling me? We're pushing that shit far. Now, so I set an example for the up and coming artists. When say, DFA, investors bring some confidence in our industry. Say, no, it was investing. Imagine Stonebwoy Shatta Wale bar investors are almost investors are more than who they pay back your music. Medical, one no quantity show UK. Oh, yeah, investor here. Shout out to MP elect. Or say one don't imagine an album featuring Stonebwoy and Shatta Wale. They don't even need any other collaboration. Best sell. These are our 2 mega stars currently. If we miss this opportunity, we are not going to get this opportunity again. Let me catch you. In there. Tired of all this grown up mood, now we can't change. So you can't change. Now fans will be attached. Now major stakeholders be able economy to me. I can't be impacting industry. No more so much. Bakwechi, ne base be and cash industry. No share a year peninsula. Compared to Nigeria, for South African industries, no, it's far. But Ghana, no, because of such a favor be tired. But if I saw a tower channels when you saw a bit console, yes, the samba back. But bread, my son, the samba back. Stakeholders say, Esremo. Me, I don't care how I'm no. So, move to me power mountain, move to me blockade, shadow blockade artists. Now, move to me, yes, I schemes now. When you move to me, Mumma Shatta Wale Stonebwoy now boom. No more talk boom. And this will propagate our industry. It will bring investors into our industry. It will boost investor confidence. Trust me, investors are ready. They are even willing to hear Kekese Stonebwoy Shatta Wale album. Omu crowd omu this speed abeba. Omu basa no to me na ye fe, na ye tour Philly Stadium. Omu so betu me Philly Madison Square Garden. Shatta Wale Stonebwoy so betu me. Ebe ye fe. Na industry no at thrive because Ghana industry no Charlie. Whether you like it or not, we have an industry. And it's about time I be protected this industry. You be grown and scale it up. You need to meet it up the international markets.